Okay, so for tuning a fiddle, you are going to need a tuning app probably. The one I recommend is called Instuner, because it will give you the number of the note you need. So obviously the fiddle's really out of tune. Your notes should be G, D, A and E. So G is the thickest string, working up through D, A and E then is the thinnest string. You've got two ways of tuning. You've got the pegs at the top and the fine tuners at the bottom. So first thing to do is to unscrew the fine tuners slightly, because you want to give yourself room to turn them back in at the bottom. So this will drop all the strings. This is only if the strings are really out of tune. So if they're really out of tune, start off by unscrewing the fine tuners slightly, and then hold the fiddle near enough to the app that it'll pick it up. So you want to see at the top, we need that, what currently says F3, we need that to say G3, and it's important that it says G3, okay? So using the pegs, slowly and gently supporting the neck, a little bit at a time, turn them away from you if you want the note to go up. Okay, so that's now, it says G3 at the top, but there's a red line, and the dial at the bottom, the little yellow hand is still sitting between F and G, so it's still not in tune. It's getting there, but it's not quite there. So I'm going to go with the peg again, supporting it. Sometimes the pegs will pop out and slip a little bit. That's often what happens, especially at this time of year when the heating is on and off and the fiddle's getting cold and hot and cold and hot. So in that case, what you do is very, very gently, as you're turning the peg, tiny bit at a time, push the peg in slightly. Okay, so that's now taken me to pretty much bang on. So you can see it turns green, says got it, and the yellow hand here is just above the G, so that's fine. Don't worry about getting it perfect until you've done all the other strings. So I'll do the D next. So this should be a D. It says C4 at the moment. I want it to say D4. So again, I'm going to turn the peg away from me slightly, slowly, a little bit at a time. If you go too far, you'll break the string. A little bit more. Tiny bit. And there we go. I've got green. It's just sitting kind of slightly underneath, and then it'll go green. So at the moment that's fine, because as you do each string it'll alter the tension slightly on the other strings. That's why you don't need to worry about getting them perfect just yet. So this is a tiny bit flat, so do the same thing, turn away, again just supporting the neck and giving a tiny bit of pressure inwards as well so it doesn't pop out. And I'm looking for A4 here. Okay, that's gone too far, so I'm just going to bring it back down a little bit. And I'm pretty much there. Again, I'll adjust that in a minute. So I'm close enough. Once the yellow needle is kind of roughly either side, or if you're getting the, let me see, when it picks it up, if you're getting the wee yellow line beside the letter at the top, that's fine. Okay, the E is the trickiest one to do because it's the one obviously with the highest tension, so it's the most liable to snap. So very slowly, tiny bit at a time. Okay, I'm pretty much there. So I've got my strings nearly there now, so what I'm now going to do is do the adjustments. One thing just to make sure of, if it's way out of tune, if the strings have popped and come loose, just hold it up in front of you, and you want to look that the bridge, the side of the bridge that's nearest the tailpiece, that's where the straight edge should be, and it should be pretty much straight. It should be vertical. What will sometimes happen when the string's loose and the bridge will flop back a little bit, and then as you tighten them up, it can pull forwards. If it goes too far, it'll bend, and if that continues, that'll snap. So just be wary of that. Don't do much with the bridge, because if everything moves around, you're going to compromise the whole instrument. But it may be that you just need to do a tiny little move just to the top of the bridge, not the feet, to straighten it back out again. Once you're happy with that, you can do the rest, and that's why we've pulled these fine tuners out, because now we can do the other adjustments using these. So this will work as well if your fiddle isn't way out of tune. If you've only got to do a couple of tiny adjustments, you don't need to go near the pegs at all, okay? If it's very, very close to the note on your tuner, just use the fine tuners. Screwing them clockwise will sharpen the note, so bring the note up. Going anti-clockwise will flatten the note or bring it down. So my E is a bit flat, so I'm going to sharpen it up just by turning the fine tuner until I hit. I'm looking at the yellow hand now. I want that to be bang on. Sometimes it takes a minute for it to pick it up. Okay, it's slightly sharp, so bring it back down a wee bit. Okay, that's as good as I'm going to get now. I'm going to do the A, that's flat. So again, I'm going to turn clockwise till I bring it up. And this is A4. The E is E5 that you want to see. The A is A4. It's still a bit flat. Okay, I'm right there. I'm getting the green and my hand is in the right place. So that to the D is also just a tiny bit flat, so bring that up.